Well, to stay warm this coming winter, best to go old school. And I'm going to tell you something else old school I just found. It's so simple. Besides the kerosene heater with the diesel and the alcohol, this is the old style oil heater. There's something else that's better than using a sleeping bag, and I'll show you what it is. I mean, actually, just said it, sorry. Better than using a blanket. Well, one of the best things you could do is just get a cool weather sleeping bag, and the kind that opens up like a big blanket. Now, this is not a very high quality sleeping bag, and I just got it. It was just like $14. It's Ozark, made in USA. And what I do is I put these in the trunks of the cars too, and I put them in a plastic trash can liner without the thing tied off so it doesn't accumulate moisture or dampness inside there, but just something so it keeps them from getting dirty. And they're also in a little protective bag, but they open up like a big blanket. Now what's cool about these, though, it's not, well, they're warm. It's just that they're designed for about 40 degrees. So you have, there's a double mink blanket underneath here. There's, there's a Confederate blanket, then there's a cheetah print blanket, and there's Mr. Goldie the cat. He warms it up too. But the deal is that you got a really good underlayment. So this works like your ISO mat. Say you're out in the field, you got your ISO mat between here and the ground. You got this so you're not going to get cold from the bottom. It's always the top. Now I found that this thing is like feather light. It almost doesn't feel much more than a sheet in weight. But the loft in here, even though it's only a 40-degree blanket, that sleeping bag that costs $14, it's very warm, but it's a lightweight. It's not like you got these damn blankets on you, I hate that shit. When you got a bunch of blankets on you, I'm like, ugh, I hate that. I hate that. This feels like feather light. And it's just, even if so it's some kind of polyester or something, it feels like, I guess you could say it's like silk, right? But that's what it feels like. A lot of people aren't thinking of this stuff. They're buying all these expensive things. This works way better. So I forgot to turn the heat on last night. I put this thing on. I was like, wow. Wow. It was like super warm, but it was like not having on. I'd say this is warmer than 2 mink blankets together on top of you, but like probably a quarter of the weight of 1 mink blanket. So you stay warm without getting too warm. Now, like I said, if it's good for 40 degrees outside, it's good for at least 40 degrees inside, because you're laying on a mattress with, underlayments, there's no body heat being lost through the ground, and you're not going to be 40 degrees inside your house. But you can turn your heat down to 60 degrees at night and save yourself a lot on your heating bill without being cold or uncomfortable with a lot of blankets. Because sometimes if you wear a lot of blankets, it's like you're too hot, and it's like, ugh. This feels like nothing. It's light as hell. And it's $14. I mean, I got a few of these. I have one in my Jeep. I have one in my other car. I think I have a military one in my El Camino. But it's like, I got those for emergencies just in case you've ever got stuck someplace. If you get cold, boy, that is one problem you could have. But you can save, I know a lot of people are going to be wondering, well, let me tell you, this winter is going to be, according to the Farmer's Almanac, except on the West Coast, the Northeast and the mid-north, the mid-west north is going to be brutally cold. So, and if you ever have a problem in your home where you get a little ice storm and your electricity goes out, you want to have these around anyway. So, if you don't want to use it as a blanket, it's definitely good to have as an emergency. Better than nothing, even this 40-degree one, because inside your house will stay relatively a lot warmer than outside. If it's 20 degrees outside, you're probably going to be about 45 inside, even with the heat off, for quite some time. So, but yeah, well worth it, man. I'm like, And I put it on the bed actually because the cats like, I like to make it like this, make something like that, and they go in here. But they liked it. But yeah, it's way cheaper than a blanket, way more comfortable. If they didn't call this a sleeping bag, it would probably be, and they put some pattern on it with some more sewing and some different like design, it would probably be some expensive quilt or something, and you know, several times the money, but then again, it's also a sleeping bag because it's got a zipper on it, and it's got a little pouch and all this kind of stuff. You can put stuff in. So, you know, I don't know if that's handy or not, but hey, it's the simplest things in the world work the best. That's really what the hell it is. A lot of times, people, you got to ignore a lot of the garbage advertising out there and these new products. Some of the simplest old school stuff always works the best. But it's kind of surprised me. This works better than. I'd rather have this on top of me than both these mink blankets. This has got more warmth without being too hot, and it's got no weight basically at all.